Good evening. This is BeerCast number 6. It's going to be game 1 of 2 really great players, nydus as the starting player and nydus as our Terran player.
Yeah, it's an Iron Curtain battle here. Although these countries are neighbors, and they're actually trying to work towards a better relationship with each other.
What Mr. Flood is referring to is nydus and tumaga's nationalities, which are Romanian and Ukrainian, respectively.
nydus is known as the Dracula toss. He recently won.
nydus's Terran, so maybe he switched races.
Wait a minute.
Because that Wikipedia.
Did I get it backwards?
No, the Wikipedia page definitely said Dracula toss. Maybe that was like his brood war he played toss.
Oh, maybe that is.
Okay. Well, either way.
Well, he's known as the Dracula toss. He's Romanian, so.
Yeah, I mean Dracula Terran, maybe. How about that?
Dracula Terran. I like that.
But I'm almost positive the Wikipedia page said Dracula toss. Either way.
Some sort of True Blood shit going on.
And this is from Homestory Cup 4. This is what are we in group stage?
Group stage 2.
Group stage 2. Okay, so we advanced beyond the first group stage. tumagaga and nydus both coming out of the groups there, and there were some tough groups. This was a pretty stacked tournament. Now, nydus is coming off of a pretty good finish in DreamHack 2011. He got to the round of 4. He lost to a really strong player, which was Puma. Puma obviously went on to the finals. But, Puma beat some really great players like Donglerigu and Genius to get to the round of 4. So, I mean, you can't really have any shame in losing to a player who plays that well.
A guy who almost wins, you can never feel bad about it.
Exactly, yeah.
Looks like dMAGA's got a hatch first expand here.
Good choice. It's a big map. We are on Antigua Shipyard.
I'm going to drink for that, too.
Yeah. Cheers. BeerCast.
BeerCast.
And nydus is the guy that plays in a ton of tournaments, and so he's got a ton of results behind him. He's one of these guys that just plays in every single online cup he can get his hands on. Whether it's like 50 euros here or $200 there, he just puts a lot of results on the board, and I feel like it's a great strategy as a pro player, just to get yourself into as many different competitive situations as possible, and just make yourself really well-rounded. So
yeah, you don't want to always play. You got to be able to react to all sorts of things, and you see this all the time actually in the GSL where Codes players get into up and down matches against players they've never seen before, and they just get into some sort of weird cheese, and then
right.
So it's going to be able to play all
different styles. Yeah. And I think personally, I don't have experience in this matter, but I've heard from other casters who are more worldly that the latter on North America versus Southeast Asia versus the European servers are all different stylistically.
Interesting.
So, that's it's just another interesting fact to consider. We got a STV scout coming in for nydus. Queen is going to get a little bit off creep and try and chase him out, and he does. He actually is able to chase him out of there with no scouting done.
He knows he's got that second though.
Yeah.
So,
but no tech choices yet seen by nydus.
All right. So what are we thinking each of these players is going to do here?
Barbecue wagon coming out for nydus.
So it's a pretty standard Hellion expand then.
Absolutely. The Hellion expand is just a real bread and butter move for a Terran versus a Zerg player. Positioning yourself nicely in the vertex of these 3 squares.
Yeah, if you're going to set up a barbecue wagon, you got to put it where all the streets lead straight to you.
Over the grid. These are the barbecue grills right here. So it's going to let the Zerglings into him, and then get a nice grill.
It'll be good. Okay.
What do we got going on here? Tank's coming out. I feel like this is a really fast siege tank.
Is that a third? Is that a macro
command center?
Oh, yeah.
New command center. Cheers.
So he And we talked about this a few times. We really like that play because the extra mules will pay for the command center.
Yeah,
and then you'll be ready when you want that third.
Totally. It's the nice thing about it for Terran is that it's non-committal. The ability to float that building. Oh, is this a burned barbecue? What is this?
It's like a smoker, man, or a cannon, maybe.
I think it might be a smoker.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe get some. Well, I guess anyway. So yeah, that fast third commit throw, I like that a lot because it's not committal for the Terran. He can lift it up, anytime he wants, move it to whatever base he wants, whether it's this the regular third that you would take or a sneaky third, and you're gonna get the energy, the scans, the extra mules, all the benefits, and you're not stretching yourself too thin.
So we got some standard play from Niden. What did we see DiMaga doing here?
DiMaga's got a Baneling that's coming in. Oh, macro hatch in the main base. That's pretty cool. Sometimes you'll see players put a macro hatch in this location to try and get some of that Sim City going to deflect run-bys.
Looks like he's trying to do that with his Baneling nest.
Yeah, and I like that a lot. I feel like Zergs really underuse their buildings for Sim City. Like, especially against Hellions, blocking off this alley right here and blocking off this pathway, and even putting some stuff to block off this pathway, it just gives less surface area and less running around room for a Hellion. So it's an important thing that Zergs need to think about it when they set up their defensive structures. And a creep tumor just died, so
we drink to that.
I'll drink to that.
The thing that's risky though for Zerg is that all of a sudden you lose that Baneling nest, and now you can't build Baneling.
Right. Yeah. And so in that same vein, a lot of players will put their lair at their natural because it actually has more hit points than a hatchery. And the thinking is that I'm just kind of putting most of my eggs in this basket.
Yeah.
If I lose that natural, the game is essentially over. So I'm just going to put my lair here because that's the most important, defensive location.
So Niden looks like he missed a depot here.
Yeah, he is supply capped. So.
And that's hurting him. It's actually.
Yeah, is he going to drop supply?
Really quickly, he built those 3 depots.
No, I think he might have used a supply drop. Did he use a supply drop? I hope he did. No, I guess he didn't. Oh, well.
But when you're Terran and you see that macro hatch in the main, and I don't know that Niden has, what do you think is coming?
It's not. Oh, that's interesting that he sees an extractor going. Oh, that was just a weird thing. Okay. Oh, he used this with the drone. Oh, that was cool. Okay, so he built an extractor real fast for that drone so that it didn't die to the Hellion.
Oh, that's smart.
And then once the Zerglings killed it, then he used it to build his hatchery. So mutas are out now for DiMaga. But coming back to your point, Mr. Flood, I think that when Nightend sees the macro hatch in the main, he's just going to kind of think, all right, he wants to get a bigger army up. He wants to get some more tech out. Almost the universal choice is going to be mutas. It could be infestors in the case like a player like Nerchio, where he just seems to always want to go infestors. But the majority of your Zerg players are going to go for the mutas, just because they have so much more flexibility, the mobility.
And the reason I brought it up is it seems like it's obviously much less of a macro game. So if you see that as an opponent,
but notice.
I feel like you have to shut down a little bit. You can't quite be as aggressive with your expansions because you know that there's going to be some sort of high-tech or large army coming towards you.
Yeah, yeah. And this is a pretty cool building placement for Nightend. A bunker, a turret, and a sensor tower. This is a very Brood War-esque push style where you just leapfrog your tanks and you just are going to kind of slowly spread, almost the way creep spreads. You're going to spread your bunkers and your turrets up across the map into the Zerg's location.
Make some defensive installations.
Exactly. And we're
so
going
we
to
got
have
another fourth going down, so we take a drink for DiMaga
here.
DiMaga's also supply blocks, we'll take a drink for that. And Niden supply blocks, we'll take a drink for that.
Supply is in DiMaga's favor here.
I'm actually surprised we're not seeing a little more Muta harass here. It looks like he's actually going to go in now, but...
the thing about Muta harass is that it requires... Oh, supply block for Nightend. Cheers. It requires such a high degree of multitasking, and at the pro level, things like mutDIMAGA fall a little bit behind priority-wise against things like macro and production and mining and stuff like that. Just because your attention is getting spread like so thin, the one thing you really it's just so tough to.
We can look at APM.
Spend too much. Yeah, we can. What is the button for that? Nope. I don't know what it is.
This is BeerCast, so you have to forgive some of the low production value here at the end.
Currently, look at the night ends. Like,
is tumor going to take a 5th here? Or is that just all going to his 4th?
No, these are all a bunch of... Yeah, drone's going to his 4th, yeah.
The thing, though, is with this map, defending 4th and the 5th is equal, in my opinion. So
but look at the surface area. I mean, like, the ground route is so far away for that 4th base.
Right, but if you're going to take that expansion, you might as well take the other one as well at the same time.
Yeah, and in the sense that he does have the muta control, he almost has this entire corner essentially claimed, just with no buildings. And Night End actually retreats. I wonder, what did he see there? What made him change his mind? Oh, was it the mutas? I can't imagine that he pulled that entire army back just for the mutas. But either way, that mutalist flock is getting really
ball.
big.
The ball's getting bigger.
Yeah, you're up to 22 mutas right now. So
both players are essentially maxed at this point.
Yeah, very true. 2-0 upgrades for the mutas. The ground upgrades for Night End are 1-1 and 1-0 for his mech, respectively. I would like to see some more bunkers and some more turrets. Like, I would like to see him just make a really slow, gradual push up into the center and take a 4th base and just kind of make that really strong, fortified, but kind of like
steady.
Steady. Yeah, very. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
So what does DIMAGA have to deal with this? He must have some. He's got Baneling speed.
Yeah, he's got a good group of Banelings. What he wants to do is get a good flank, and dude, Night End is going to give it to him.
Oh,
Night End is going to hand it to him.
He's just spread too far out.
Yeah, and look at this.
And,
Zergling's
it's coming. Here we go.
Oh, the Baneling's going to be able to get this.
Oh, and here comes the flank.
Yeah. Baneling's going to get sick hits on all those Marines. All the Marines go down. Supply plummeting for Night End.
The thing is, DIMAGA is actually way under too, but the thing is, he's going to be able to build it up so much faster. And they're both immediately back up. We're
gonna have a big counterattack here for DIMAGA. Are those Banelings gonna get the Marine hits that they want to get? Yes, they are gonna get a bunch of Baneling hits on the Marines. Well, not as many as he actually wanted.
That wasn't quite as effective as you would have hoped, but
no, I think that he wanted to have the Mutalisks there with that attack. And here's the real story, Mr. Flood. Every single Mutalisk died in that attack.
You can't have that. Your Mutalisk ball has got to always stay healthy.
And too important, especially when you put 2-0 upgrades into them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you get up to the double digit count on the mutas there.
And look at the supply now, 178 to 116.
Wow.
Although, look at DIMAGA's
the bank.
I don't understand why he's so low.
He might be larva starved right now. He didn't have queens at he didn't have queens at these bases. Did he lose those queens to drops? Oh wow, that's just that might just be sloppiness from DIMAGA not re-queening. It's so important for a Zerg player to have queens at all of his hatcheries because you have to build up not only a mineral and a gas bank, but you have to have a lot of larvae stacked up in order to remax instantly.
Yeah,
when you lose that battle.
And now that all of DIMAGA's bank is spent, he's still at 150 and Night End's at 177 with a huge
bigger bank.
You got to think that Night End's got the big advantage.
I think that he is going to take this first game here. So some more mutas are out now.
Muta ball's back out there, but
it's not what it once was. Imagine if he had not lost all that first group and now he had 33 mutas. That would just be a real force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and
at this point,
he's only got 2 Banelings.
It's kind of like a flimsy rapier, where it could have been like almost a broadsword.
Right.
Yeah. So really, all Night End needs to do is just.
Rainier, that's a great metaphor.
Thanks, man.
You must have been playing some Dungeons and Dragons. You got your weapons down.
Yeah. With my 1- and 2-handed slashing.
Yeah.
So really, all Night End needs to do is just push up, nice and steady. The one thing that he could do wrong is to push too fast. And it looks like that's what he's about
It
to
seems
do.
like that's kind of his weakness here, is that he lets his army get pretty spread apart instead of keeping it together.
It's almost like when you get a boner and you just kind of like start taking a girl's pants off. And you start taking a girl's pants off before you really like. You have to like massage the breasts first.
Yeah.
Before you take the pants off, right?
It seems to me like he takes his pants off and then maybe he realizes that his back end is not looking as good as it used to. And
right, and now
he kind of abandons.
And now look at DiMaga. And DiMaga is establishing some control here in the middle of the map, and his army's cut off from his bases.
But look at the supply right now. It's 95.
Yeah,
to 200.
you're right. Yeah, you're totally right.
But it's 6 base versus
She's
3.
drunk. She's drunk. She doesn't even care if the pants are off.
GG. Wow.
So she was so drunk that she didn't care if you skipped the foreplay and went straight for the pants. I think that's the real.
DiMaga just didn't really have the right unit composition. He had the right unit composition, but he just didn't play it.
He
right.
lost his mutas. He lost the mutas. I think he lost the mutas, and that kind of spelled it for him.
He just was bad at the engagement.
All right, so Night End takes the first game in this set. Let's go ahead and check out game number 2.